Hello guys, welcome to new video. So in this video we are doing this question game of life. So this is so important question as interview point of view. So you can see here there are some input case and this is our output. So how we can achieve this result? First of all we are read this question and after that we see the approach of this question, then we are doing the code for this question. Okay. So first of all, you can read these basic lines and this code, like this question is available at like Gigs for Gigs, Lead Code and many platforms. You can see this question. So the board is made up of M into N grid of cells where each cell has a initial stage live denoted by 1 or dead represented by 0. So you can see here guys, in the input test case, there are 0 and 1 are present only. So what is the meaning of 0? This is the dead element and this is the live element. Okay. So how we can achieve this result? This is based upon the neighbor elements. Okay. So we read further. Each cell interact with the 8 neighbors horizontally, vertically and diagonal. So what is the 8 neighbors? Top, bottom, left, right, and 4 diagonals. These are the 8 diagonals. The each result is depend upon the 8 diagonals element. Okay, so this is the main thing that we consider in this question. After that, using the following 4 rules, you give the result for this question. Okay, so what is the 4 rules here? Any live cell with fewer than 2 live neighbor dies as if cause of the underpopulation. Like if there are only one here, okay, so what is the meaning of one? This element is live initial stage, okay, but when we see the its nearby elements, like this is dead, this is dead, 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 and this is only one live. So this is the case of underpopulation. Like if any element has less than two live elements, like less than two, so उसका क्या हो जाएगा? वो died हो जाएगा. Why? Due to the underpopulation. So you can see here the outcome is zero here because there are only one element present that are live in this neighbor. Okay. So this is the first rule. Okay. ये हो गया. Now we talk about the second one. Any live cell with two or three live neighbors live on the next generation. Okay. Any live cell like denoted by the one. Okay. This is denoted by the one with two or three live neighbors. Like if any one element has two or three live neighbor is present that are survive for the next generation. So you can see the example of this one. The total neighbor elements of this one is one. This is live. This is also live, and this is also live. So there are three elements is present in this neighbor. So that's why when the outcome is here, this is still live. Okay. So if like less than two, like one is live in their neighbor, then this is died due to the underpopulation. If two or three live is present, that element survive in the next generation. So this is the basically summary of the second rule. Two or three. Okay. And if one is present, then this is dead because due to the underpopulation, and this is the case of the survival if the nearby is two or three is live. When we talk about the third case, any live cell means we are talking about the one with more than three live neighbors is dead, dies as the overpopulation. Like there are no any element present that are in this input test case. Like there are some case like if two or three neighbors that are present with one, like in this case you can see here one, 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 one. There are three, one, one, and one. For this one, there are three lives present. So that's why this is survive. If assume like there are one is present here or one is present here. So in that case, there are four live neighbor present, means more than three. So at that time, there are a case of the overpopulation, and this is died at the next generation. So there are no any example of the overpopulation in this test case. So we consider like if more than 3 lives are present, okay, more than 3. So this is dead in the next generation. So the last one is any dead cell is exactly 3 live neighbors become a live cell as a byproduction. Like there are some dead cell is also present in this question. You can see here. This is dead, 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 and these are 3 are dead. So if any dead cell has 3 neighbors that are live, so this is the case of the reproduction, and this is like live in the next generation. So you can see here this 0. There are only 2 neighbors that are 1. So this is not case of the reproduction. But in this 0, you can see here there are 1 live, second live, and the third live. You can see here there are 3 lives present. So in that case, there are the case of the reproduction, and this is live in the next generation. So that's all about the approach of this question. How we can get this result? We first of all, we iterate on each element and we find out the neighbor elements count, like how many neighbor elements are live or dead. So we are count these things, and after that getting the all details of that this question, we give the output in our answer matrix, and after that we are print those all things. So this is so easy question if you understand these 4 basic rules. Okay, so now I clear the old diagrams, and we do this question in the code format. So you can see here there are 0, then it converts to 1, and there are the this cases like there are less population, so this is died in the second one. So now I open the editor and I write here. You can see here there are 4 row and 3 columns are present here. So this is the input, and there are 4 row and 3 columns, 0 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, so first of all we create a matrix. Sorry for the noise. So scanner class object is created and we are storing the value of row. So int row is equal to sc dot next int. Okay, and now we store the value of the column. Column is equal to sc dot next int. So you can also solve this question in JavaScript. So there are approach of this question is same. So only syntax is different, you know very well. So now we are declare a matrix 2D matrix, because we want to store this complete matrix is equal to new int, and the size is row and column. So matrix is created. Now we fill the value in this matrix. So we are iterating 2 loops. Int I is equal to 0, I is less than row, and I increment. So this is for the row, and now we are iterating a loop for the column. J is equal to 0, j is less than column, and j increment. So there are 2 for loops for the input taking, and how we can store the values here? The values I and j is equal to sc dot next int. So this is till now we can say that we store this all element in our this matrix. Okay, so now we are creating an answer array, and in answer array we fill the output of this question. So I create here a answer array, like you can take the example, write like answer or result anything in answer array. So the size is also same, o into column is equal to new int and row, and here is column. So a new answer array is created. Now we are iterating again this for loop for the iterate for the iteration in this whole matrix, in this matrix. Okay, we are iterating in this matrix. So I down this thing. So guys, you can see here. Now we take a count variable here for the counting the neighbor elements. Okay, so that's why I write here int count is equal to 0. So when I write the code, then I like एक्सप्लेन भी करता रहूंगा साथ साथ, ताकि आप कंफ्यूज ना हो उसके लिए. सो int count is equal to 0. Now what we can do here, guys, like we are see the all elements, so I denote here. So this is our matrix. Like I created two 3 by 3 matrix. 1 0 1 0. I am taking a random number. I want to explain something here. 1 1 1. So guys, first of all, when we check for the matrix of ij, so 0 I value is 0 and j value is also 0. So we are at this index, na? So we are at this index. So we remember one thing, like at this position, we cannot check for the upper direction, we cannot check for the left direction, and we cannot check for the this like top left direction. Why? Because if we check in any if condition, then the case of the array out of bound of length exception and our program is stop at that time. So we write some conditions here, like at any place we are checking, like if we are at this position, then we can check for the this one, and at all the 8 direction we can check. But at this position you can check for the 1 2 3 4 5, but you cannot check for this direction. Okay, so this is the main thing, that's why we write the condition for this question. And if you are here, then you can check for this one and this one. So this is the main thing, like we remember this thing here. Okay, so that's why we write the some condition for our question. So first thing, we are check for the upper direction. So consider the example of the this element. Okay, we are see for this element and we are take the example of the all direction. So how we can write? If I minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, and j minus 1 is greater than equal to 0. Okay, if this case, so what is the meaning of this case? Like if we are at the 0th position, I0 and J0. So 0 minus 1 and J minus 1, 0 minus 1 minus 1. If minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, this condition is wrong. And this condition is also wrong because J is 0 here, minus 1 is greater than equal to 0. So this condition is not executed. Like if when we are at the 0 0 position, so we are not checking for the this direction. And this is for the see the uh, left up direction, left up direction. Okay, and you can see here, uh, and you can also write like this, north west direction. This is for the northwest, like this direction we are checking for the upper one. Okay, like assume we are at the this position and this we can capable to check like this element. Okay, so what we can write here, we can write here count. We are set the count value. If there are 1 is present, so how we can set? If count matrix of I minus 1, because we are checking for the I minus 1, and this is j minus 1, j minus 1. Okay, if this is equal to 1, like this element we are consider for this element, we are checking for this element. If this element is equal to 1, then what we can say here, we can say like this condition is true, then we can simply count plus 1. Otherwise we can use count, count count. So this is a case. So this is the ternary operator way. You can consider this thing in a simple way. So how you can write this in the simple way? So I like clear this thing here. So we are setting the count value na here. So we are checking for the matrix of, if this matrix I minus 1 and j minus 1, if this element is equal to 1, then increase the value of count by 1, otherwise count is remaining same. So how we can write here? If matrix of I minus 1 and j minus 1 is equal to 1, then what we can write here? We can write here count is equal to count plus 1. Otherwise, this is optional. You can write, and if you don't want to write, then this is your choice. Count is equal to count. So this is optional thing. Okay. You can write in this way and you can also write in this way also. This is your choice. So in first case, I write the complete thing. Otherwise, I follow this approach only. Ternary operator. Okay. So I explain. I write the 8 direction here for the 8. I check for this. I check for the this one till now. Okay. Now we are check for this, then this one, then right, then this diagonal, then down, then bottom right diagonal. Okay. So you can follow this approach, like we are setting the count value, count is equal to, and we are checking here if matrix of I minus 1 j minus 1 means we are going, we are decrement in the minus row minus 1 I minus 1 and j minus 1 means we are see this direction. If this is equal to 1, okay, if this is true, then increase count plus 1. Otherwise, if this is false, if there are 0%, then count is equal to only count. Okay, so this is ternary operator. I am writing in the simple way here. So now I clear this thing. So now we are checking for the next direction. This for the left up direction. Now we are for checking for the up direction only. If how we can check, like if our element is here, like our I is here, so up direction is I minus 1. So we can check like if I minus 1, if I minus 1, like how we can check, is greater than equal to 0, means we want to ensure that like if we are checking for the upper one, then our matrix is not cross our boundary. So that's why I am writing here if I is equal to 0 here guys, then 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Like if we are at here, then we check for the minus 1, then this give the exception here. So that's why if at the any time we are at this row or this row, at that time we can check for the upper direction. So that's the reason here. So I minus 1 is greater than equal to 0. It can be only 0 or greater than 0. So that is can be a case only. It cannot be at the minus I is equal to 0. Then this give the result of minus 1. I know I repeat this thing again and again. If a beginner is see my videos first time, so he can understand this thing, like why I am doing this question, like how why I am doing this type of if condition here. So if I minus 1 greater than equal to 0, so at this case, what we can write here? We can simply write here count is equal to, and how we can check matrix of, first of all, I minus 1, because we are checking for the I minus 1, and j is remaining same because we are not changing in any j, because we are see the this upper direction here. Okay, so I cut this. So this thing is equal to 1. So if this is true, then what we can write here? We can simply write here count plus 1. Otherwise, only count. Okay. So you can comment out this and you can write in this format also. Copy this and put in if condition. If this is true, then count plus 1. Otherwise, count is equal to only count. Okay. So this is case for the for up direction. This question is available in my GitHub. You can check the link in description. I give the description in link in the description for this question. So this is for the upper direction. Now we are checking for the this diagonal. Okay. So I change the color also. Now we are checking for the up right direction. Okay. So how we can check? We are increment the value of j at here, but we are decrement the value of I because we are going minus in the row because we are going to upward. So this is so easy. If I minus 1, so this is the case of going upper minus in the row upper direction, and this is must be greater than equal to 0, not cross this boundary, and the j plus 1, because we are going in this direction, we are increment the value of column here. j plus 1 j plus 1 uh, less than column. So this is remaining less than column. It not cross the column length. Like column is equal to column length is 3. you can see here we are taking the value of column here, so it not cross the value of 3 here. So j plus 1 is equal to less than 3. If this case is happened, so what we can write here, so I copy this thing here and I put this thing here. So we change something, so I minus 1 and j plus 1 here, because we are going in right direction. If this is 1, then count plus 1, otherwise count. So this is for the which direction? This is for the right up direction, or you can see here uh, north, northeast direction. Okay, so three diagonals we are checked here. Now we are checking for the left direction. So we are checking now for this direction. We are checking for this direction here. So in this direction, when we go in this direction, so we are remaining in the same row, but we are decrement the value of j here. Okay, because we are going in left side in the column. If j minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, because j is 0 column should not be cross here. Okay, otherwise exception is occur. So we are going in this direction. If j minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, in this case what will happen? Same thing, we can paste this thing here, and row is remaining same, I is remaining same here, and j we are decrement the value of j. I is remaining same, but j value is decrement and is equal to 1, then count plus 1, otherwise this is remaining count only. And this is for the left direction, left direction. So we are checking till now 4 direction. Okay, so now we are taking the example of the right direction, this thing you can see here. So how we can find this direction? We copy this thing same, and we are changing only one thing here. If j plus 1, j plus 1, so this should be less than our column na, because we are going in this direction. So here the highest value is column, so ये column से कम रहना चाहिए. So that's the reason I am writing here j plus 1 is less than column. So this is the for the right direction. Count I is remaining same, but j increment j plus 1. If this is true, then count plus 1, otherwise count. And if you are not comfortable in this, then you can write in this format. You can comment out this line and you can write in this format also. So I give the two example of the for the return the same code. So we are checking for the right direction also. Now we are checking for this direction. So now we change the color. Bottom left direction. Okay. So tell me guys, uh, what is the like code for this question here? So I copy this thing and we change something here. So in this, we are increment the value of I here. So I plus 1 is must be present in this. I plus 1. If I plus 1 is happen, then I should be not cross. I should be not cross our row. So this should be, remember here, like we are increment I, but I should not cross the row value. And we are decrement the value in column. We are going in this direction. So j minus 1. So here is j plus 1. If j minus 1 is happen, then we are going in this direction. So this is not cross the 0th. So how we can write here? This should be greater than equal to 0. So we are checking here which direction? Left, left down direction. And we can see here, or we can say south, south, southwest direction. Okay, so this is also considered. So now we are checking for the downward. So what is the code for this one? So we are copy this code and we write this code here. So if we are going in downward, then we are simply increment the value of I. We are going in downward in the row, so we are increment the value of row. I plus 1 is less than column. So this is or column or row here. So in downside we see like here is row. So I plus 1 is less than row. So we are checking for the down direction here, down or bottom. Okay. And here I is I plus 1 and the j is remaining same here. If matrix of I plus 1 and j, this element is equal to 1, then count is increased by 1. Otherwise, we are if there are 0, then count is equal to remaining count same. Okay, so we are checking here seven direction, and this is the last direction that are remaining till now. So we are checking for this direction now. So now the if condition for the last direction. So I copy this code and I paste this code here. So now guys, tell me, we are increment the row value and also we are increment the column value, because we are going in this direction in column and we are going in downward in the row direction. So both things increase. So I plus 1 is like less than R, and j plus 1 is also less than column. Okay, because we are going in the this direction. And what is the this direction? Right, right down or south east. Okay, so we are checking the old direction till now. Okay, so guys, why we are doing this thing? Like हमने ये इसलिए किया है, अभी तक हमने सारी डायरेक्शन देख लिया है एक चीज को कंसीडर करके, एक एलिमेंट को कंसीडर करके. नाउ वी कैन लाइक हम ये देख सकते हैं कि हमें रिजल्ट मिल चुका है काउंट में, बिकॉज व्हेन वी कंसीडर द ईच एलिमेंट and we take that element reference and we can see here like what is the neighbor element in this count here till now, because there are all are if condition, all condition is executed if they are correct. If the all are like there are two executed, three executed, that is like depend upon the I and j. Like till now we can see that count value is 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, or we can say that 7 or 8. Okay, these are can be possible values of count. So now we can consider like we can put the result in answer matrix like with the behalf of that count. Like if we are checking for this element, only this element has only one neighbor element 1, so this is died due to the less population. If there are two or three element present nearby, this count is 2 or 3, then we can say that this element is remaining like 1. If there are 1 present here, so this is remaining 1. If this is 0 and the neighbor element is 3 present, count is 3, so we can see in the output we can print the 1 because there are the case of the reproduction. So now we are simply put in our answer array. So till now, so I write here comment, till now we count the neighbors. स्पेलिंग गलत हो सकती है, यहाँ तक ये लिख देते हैं neighbors. Okay, so now we are putting the value in our answer matrix that we are created here. So now we are checking if there are two case only na, if this element 1 or 0, 1 or 0. So we are checking if matrix of I and j is equal to 1. Okay guys, if this element is 1 and we are checking now count values because the result is depend upon the count now. So we are checking for the each element. This is I and j. This is the whole process for the counting. If matrix of I and j is equal to 1 and the count is less than 2. Okay, so this is the case of underpopulation. This is the case of, we can say here, less population. This is the case of less population. Okay, so in this, what we can fill in our array? Answer of I and j is equal to 0. Why we are filling 0 here? Because the one element is died due to the count is less than 2. Like count is 0 or 1 here. So that's why this is died, because due to the less population. Now else this is, if this is not executed, else if matrix of I and j, I and j is equal to 1. If this is live, okay, and now we are see the case of the count, and if count value is less than equal to 3. If this is executed, then this is not executed, you know very well. Like if there are case of 0 or 1 count, then this is executed. If there are case of 2 or 3, then this condition is executed. If the count of 2 or 3, then this is the case of the survival case. Live is survive here, because there are 2 or 3 count, there are 2 or 3 neighbor element is present. Like in this case, you can see here, 1 or 2 elements are present that are live. So this is the case of live. And when matrix of I and j is 1, and so answer of I and j is also 1, because this is case of the survive. So this is done. Now we are write one case for the high population. Else if matrix of I and j is equal to 1, okay, if this is 1 and our count is greater than 3, like you can see here 2 or 3, then this is survive. If matrix of I and j is 1, then this is answer in this matrix is also remaining 1. But this count is greater than 3, at that time this is the case of high population. Or what happen in the high population, you read like this is high population, high population and died. Okay, so what is the answer here? Answer of I and j is equal to 0. Okay, so at the last there are one more if condition. Else if matrix of I and j is equal to 0, because we see the all case for the 1. If now we see are the last case, that are fourth condition for the reproduction part, like if the element is died already and the neighbor element is 3 is live, count is equal to 3. If this is 0, but there are 3 neighbors that are present with the live status, so this is in the output, this become 1 here, because there are 3 lives present. So that is the case of reproduction. So now what is the answer here? Answer of I and j is equal to 1. So this dead element is live in the next generation. So this is the case of dead to live, because 3 lives. Okay, so guys, this is the basic thing till now. Now this is executed, then after that this is if condition. Okay, this is else if, this is for the outer for loop, this is inner for loop, and this is outer for loop. And here public static void main string args count if condition, if So wait guys, this is the inner for loop and this is outer for loop, and here we are writing here again a for loop for the printing the result. Int I is equal to 0, I is less than row, and I plus plus, and for int j is equal to 0, j is less than column and j plus plus, and here we are write system dot out dot print and answer of I and j here, and we are separated with this with some space, and here we are writing here a new line system dot out dot print ln. I think one bracket is missing here, so I write here. If this is not correct, then this give the error to us. So I run the program. Else if matrix of else error else without if, where I am writing else without if, high population and die, high population and die. If condition, this is the close. I debug this. Wait a second, guys. So now we run this code. So guys, you can see here the results here, and also you can remove this thing also. There are no need to write. This is the unwanted. There are one thing is present here. Run the code. So you can write in this format, and also you can specify this thing in this way also. If matrix of minus I minus 1 and j minus 1 is equal to 1, then we perform some operation, otherwise count is remaining same, or this is the ternary operator. So you can follow the both approach, and first of all I rewrite the code again, and like I fix the bug, like there are some curly braces bug is present. So int row is equal to sc dot next int, we taking the row and column, then we create a matrix, then we fill the value in matrix, and we are create a answer array, and we are iterating for the each element, and we count the neighbors of this, and we are counting the neighbors with the help of these 8 if condition. They are checking for the all direction, and after that we are perform the like filling in the answer, according to the count variable. Count less than 2, then less population, and if their count is equal to 2 or 3, you can write in this way, then this is survive. Okay, so you can also like this thing less than 3, this is also working, and if count is greater than 3, then high population and this is died, and this matrix is equal to 0, this is the case of dead, and the count is equal to 3, then dead cell will alive due to the 3 neighbors. Okay, so this is the case of the live, and in the else condition the cell remaining same, so this thing is missing at the last code, because there are no any condition this executed, then this else condition is executed, because there are no any case present between this, then else condition is executed, the element present in answer array is remaining the same. So after that the only printing. So this is all about the code of this question. So there are only like बस 8 direction check करना था. Hope you understand. Or you can see here like we achieve the same result in our code. Okay guys, so we check only the a direction of the each element. So thank you so much, that's all about the question. If you कुछ भी आपको डाउट अगर अब भी है तो कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हो. वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो लाइक कर सकते हो, और ऐसी वीडियोस के लिए चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हो. तो मिलते हैं किसी न्यू वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय.